Alright, I'm tired of the Elm Street comparisons. It is completely different. Freddy died in a fire. The grabber did not die in a fire. It's totally different. Black Phone 2 picks up a few years after the first, and Gwen's dreams are starting back up. When her and Finn start to investigate what they mean, they'll be confronted by the grabber once again. Only this time, he wields even more power. Okay, first, let's get the Freddy comparisons out of the way. And yeah, I did wear a Nightmare on Elm Street shirt on purpose. I thought, it would be a little bit funny. But the first Black Phone movie already obviously a supernatural film, so them just getting more into the supernatural stuff didn't bother me. I was down for that. But yeah, the way that they did it, there are some pretty strong similarities to the Elm Street movies. Not only the fact that he could attack people in their dreams, but also some smaller stuff that they do, and yeah, that didn't help. However, the grabber is a very different character from Freddy, and not just the way he looks, but also the way he acts, and pretty much everything around the Freddy stuff in this movie was very unique and interesting, and it fit well into this world. It just felt like it was this world that they were just expanding and building out, and it didn't feel like a Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff. But yeah, using some of the basic concepts from the Nightmare movies, the comparisons were always going to be inescapable, and sadly, it really does seem to be hurting the enjoyment for some of the viewers, and I understand that, but it didn't really bother me that much. Okay, moving on from that, when I watched the first movie, I liked it, but then I rewatched it, and yeah, it's really good. And while not perfect, this one also really delivers. It does everything that I want from a sequel. It builds on everything from the last movie. It expands on the lore, gives some backstory maybe, and it has a bigger scope. It's more ambitious. Scott Derrickson is an expert when it comes to atmosphere. I always love the vibe and aesthetic of his horror movies, and the frozen environment only added to that. There's jump scares, and this one definitely ups the gore over the last movie, but the atmosphere is really what makes this movie work. That, and you have some pretty great characters. Mason Thames and Madeline McGraw return as Finney and Gwen, and they do an excellent job at pulling you in. You care so much for these characters, and you really understand how what they've gone through has affected them, and they have some nice human moments, which a lot of horror movies don't really stop to give you. They have some dialogue that's just such obvious exposition, like really explaining things to you, but that's more a problem with the writing, and they did the best they could with it. Ethan Hawke is of course back as the grabber, and he's good, but I just really think Universal and Blumhouse shot themselves in the foot with this one. People enjoyed the first movie, and I guess they liked the grabber. It wasn't like a horror icon, and if he was gonna be, you need to let the second movie come out and then see how people feel and how people are responding to him before you mass market him. He's in video games, soda cans, Halloween Horror Nights, all type of stuff before the second movie comes out. So now people feel like they're being told what to like and what to hype up and get excited about. People don't like that. So now I feel like that's kind of turned people away from him and kind of almost made him kind of a joke, like, oh, the grabber, like, oh, industry plant. You can't do it. These things have to happen organically. And yeah, I think they kind of hurt themselves by doing that and getting way ahead of themselves. The story's main issue is that they're setting up a mystery that isn't really a mystery. And I don't mean in like a dramatic irony type of way. It's just not a mystery. They do the reveal, the characters find out, and they're like, whoa. But you're just kind of watching like, yeah, that literally had to be the answer. That had to be the connection here. Like, yeah. I also think there is a little bit of a pacing issue. It's a little slower to get going than the last film, and I do think it could have been trimmed down a little bit, but it wasn't anything substantial. I still think it worked pretty good. I feel like I remember people questioning, like, why are they making a sequel? The grabber's dead. Be done with it. I was open to a sequel, but now, after this one, yeah, you gotta be done. This isn't gonna be a big franchise. At least it shouldn't be, because regardless of anywhere they go with it after this one, it's either going to feel just really forced or repetitive or both. So I like what you have here. You have a good first movie. You have a good second movie. Although the second one seems to be more mixed. I really liked it. But yeah, after this, wrap it up, because I don't want you milking it. I don't want them to ruin what they got right now. Like I mentioned earlier, this is everything I want from a sequel. It's not perfect, it does borrow stuff from another horror franchise, but it also brings a lot of new ideas. The atmosphere and visuals are great, and there's characters that are very well acted that you actually really care for. And yeah, I highly recommend this movie. So those were my thoughts on Black Phone 2. Let me know what you thought, and please subscribe. I talk about movies, video games, TV, and more. Or go check out my other stuff. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.